Hi, welcome to another edition of the MDR Mediterranean Diet Roundtable, EVOO, Extra Virgin Olive Oil Library. My name is David Newman. I'm Evo Guy, and I work with the MDR as our olive oil czar to promote our olive oil brand champions that support our work and allow us to promote the Mediterranean diet, in particular the most popular food product in the Mediterranean diet, which is extra virgin olive oil. And today we have our third installment of our 7 champions this year in 2022, following up on a very exciting year last year. The MDR was founded by Daniela Puglielli, who is a famous, well-known publicist and PR agency in the Northeast. And she created the MDR to create a platform for discussions, trade community, meetings, and in this case, interviews with what we call our Evo champions. At Evo Guy, I have been focused on olive oil for almost 20 years, having been the CEO of 2 brands, one Italian, one Greek. I've been an olive oil consultant, have worked with a lot of major brands. And in fact, our guest today, who you'll see next to me is Angela Perez Lind, as was one of my clients in Spain, as well as I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours interviewing consumers of what they want in an extra virgin olive oil. And that led me to my book, Extra Virgin Olive Oil, The Truth in Your Kitchen, which was published in June and is on Amazon.com, on Audible, Barnes & Noble, and on my website, evoguy.com. And today, in fact, we will be talking with one of my few recommended brands in the book, Alca Oliva, who I had the pleasure of visiting last year at her family's estate and production in southern Spain. So I hope you find this next 30, 45 minutes very interesting, because you're going to learn about a product that doesn't really exist well yet in America, but is making some inroads around the world. And we're really proud that she joined our group this year, because she's the only product that not only meets our quality expectations, which are high, but also the unique packaging format, which her family basically created generations ago, and delivering quality and price in a single serve, which allows consumers to not only use the right amount of oil every time, but travel with it, which is super important. As I talked about in my book, likely when you go out to any kind of restaurant, hotel, even a guest house, they're going to have terrible olive oil. So if you're really an olive oil snob like me and probably Angela, you bring your own olive oil with you. So again, we have Angela with us today. I'm super proud to introduce you to Alca Oliva, which is her family's historical production and estate, and as well as their product, which, as I talked about, is a single serve called Mini Oliva. And she's going to tell us all about it and one of the different formats of how they're packaged in a retail pack, but also in bulk for food service and club. So welcome, Angela, to our video today. Thank you for joining me from Spain. And I'd love for you to tell our folks a little bit about who you are, your father's original idea, and what you do in the company to bring these delightful products to market. And while you're chatting, I'm going to show some of the various products that you've sent me to use and to share with key buyers while you introduce us to the wonderful brand that you make.
Hi, David. Thank you very much for your introduction. It is a pleasure to talk to you because we like talking about olive oil industry, and I always learn a lot of when talking to you. We have a conversation of 1 hour before this conversation, and now we need to focus.
Of course.
So, well, as you have said, Alca Oliva is a family business. We are located in Jaén, South Spain, which is, as many of you know, the olive oil world capital. Some years ago, I'm not sure if I have told you the real history of Mini Oliva. Some years ago, maybe many years ago, my father was taking me to the airport. I think I was traveling to London, and we were in the airport, and he was using a small single serve of olive oil, like in sachets, the small sachets. And he messed up himself, pouring the olive oil all over. And so he was thinking, he said, he was in the olive oil industry. We own a mill, a traditional mill, and we have a small bottling plant with the traditional format in bottle of plastic, 5 liters to 1 liter. And at that moment, he thought, I need to create something, to invent something that you don't need to spill over the oil when you are pouring and you are messing up yourself. This is basically the idea that inspired him to create Mini Oliva. Yes, yes. And he wanted something that reminded you to the olive fruit itself. As I like to say, Mini Oliva is authentic outside and authentic inside because it's important. The packaging, our packaging is convenience, hygienic. The use is very easy, but which is the most important thing is the content inside, the extra virgin olive oil, the quality of the product. With great humility, David, I believe that we are one of the highest quality single-serve packaging in the market for both the quality inside and all the assortment of product, flavored oils, vinegars, and the quality of the packaging, the design, and the usability.
Yeah, and what I love about it is you have the two different sizes. So these are the 8 mLs, which is technically half a serving. The 15 mLs is the recommended serving, and then you have the larger size, which is the 14 ml, which is basically a proper serving. And they're really a single serve. So on these, this is a lemon olive oil, and I want to make sure people realize it's not extra virgin, because once you put a flavor in it, it's now a defect and it's no longer extra virgin. So they've properly packaged this. As they say on here, for home, for picnic, and at work, and I would even say for travel, because in the US, these are TSA approved. For under 30 ml is TSA approved, so you can put this in your handbag and take it on an airplane, which is very difficult with fluids, as we know. But I love how you have these retail packs of not only infused oils, like this is a truffle oil, and also I have from you chili oil, which is very convenient because it's only just enough that you need. Whereas if you open a bottle, you have now introduced air into the bottle, and that starts to, create redcidity and oxidation. So in this one, you open it once and you use it. And I wanted to demonstrate how easy and smart this is. So this is the olive with your branch, and basically you tear off the top of it, and it creates a pour spout. So now you have the little pour spout, and the oil comes serviced out of the spout. And if you tip it back, you have the remaining oil, and the spout is empty. So you could literally just go back and re-pour as you need it. And then when you're done, you could reserve the rest for the rest of your meal. So it's a really interesting product. And of course, it's got that beautiful, I don't know if these are Piqual, but they smell like a Piqual to me. And I also like very much how you have the best buy date embossed on the bottom. It's hard to see here, but it's 2023. So each one of these is produced and then stamped with the best before date, which most single serves, you'll never find any of that, because they make them, thousands at a time, and they don't have the way of putting the stamp on it.
Yes, thank you, David. I think you explain even better than me my own products, but yes, basically, Mini Oliva brings the consumer convenience, hygiene. With all this pandemic, have demonstrated the great, usability of the single-serve packaging for many products, obviously for olive oil too. So brings quality, convenience, hygiene, no food waste, freshness.
What would, for a customer, I know you don't have big distribution yet in the States, but you're working on it because I know who you're working with. This is the larger size, and I know you do an extra virgin also in the smaller size, but this is, let's say, a one proper serving of extra virgin olive oil at 14 ml. What might this be found if it was in a store that had like a salad bar, or if it was a convenience? I know you sell them in the dispensers. I think there's a 50 in a dispenser.
Yes.
Like I see it behind your shoulder there, the dispenser. And this is a really clever package, folks. This is made more for kind of like retail or C-store, but you can sell them individually. So the box is shipped with you, shipped already packaged, and you just open the front panel.
Yes, this is, well, for consumer, we have the retail package, the one that you showed.
Mhm.
And this is like an intermediate package because it can be sold for food service or also in some specific retail shops that
Mhm.
normally sells like big quantities. So this is very easy because you just pull this. Okay.
And so that's just the front seal. And I believe there's a little like door that opens up and then you draw them from the bottom. It's perfect.
Yes.
Right.
This one is the balsamic vinaigrette.
Yes.
You just need to, yes, that one. Our recipes are very simple. We base all our infused vinaigrettes using Evo, extra virgin olive oil, as the main ingredient. And we are mixing with balsamic vinegar, or we are mixing with natural flavors or natural extracts.
Mhm.
And we keep it simple and healthy because we don't have the need to create like a complicated dressing,
Right.
but a healthy one. So you just
Well, absolutely. And you can see on that balsamic vinaigrette that you've got your oil on the top, the balsamic in the bottom, and that's why you shake them. But what I also really love about it is the ingredients are extra virgin olive oil and balsamic vinegar. And the balsamic vinegar, it says 30% balsamic, 70% extra virgin. And the balsamic is wine vinegar, which is traditionally Trebbiano grape, Trebbiano, and grape must. And the must is, what makes the vinegar a balsamic. So you're getting a true balsamic vinaigrette. And as you said, it doesn't have to be a dressing that's got all kinds of weird herbs and stuff in it. It's just a traditional balsamic vinaigrette is balsamic oil and vinegar. When you shake it and then you dispense it out, they're homogeneous. So now you have, a vinaigrette there.
for your salad.
When you taste it, it's perfectly blended. You can feel the fruitiness and the greenness of the extra virgin, but also the sweet and the slight tartness of the balsamic. And that's what you should do. You should have the balsamic should give you a little tickle because it's got that nice tartness that balsamico will have. And I don't think people know, but you are Spanish, but you live in Italy as well. So you have the access to the great balsamic from Italy and the great olive oil from Spain. So you've created kind of this marriage of two EU countries.
Yes. Both countries are great. I cannot say nothing against Italy or Spain. Spain is a great producer of olive oil, and we have been recognized in the last year as a great quality olive oil producers. Italy as well in many things, but I think Spain has to get its place for being a quality olive oil producer. That is important, I think, for our country and for our region mainly. And yes, the last thing, David, don't forget that even when the packaging is open, can you see that it doesn't spill over? So you need to push.
Yes.
It will be poor. Otherwise, you don't have like oh my God, I'm messing my hands.
Yeah.
It's very convenient from that point.
I want to, I never do this, but I want to share my screen. And this is something that is very rare. So this is me in their estate last year by their ancient trees. These are very old trees with the castle behind me or the city behind me, this beautiful village. But this museum, and you could tell us a little bit about it. I have been in a lot of mills and I have seen a lot of pseudo museums. I don't know what your family or father spent to build this thing. I don't need to know. I know it's probably more than most people would ever conceive of in a lifetime. This is the most beautiful, well-appointed. And I remember you told me the trouble he had to go to build this and source these things, but maybe you can tell us what we're looking at, like the history of some of these images are just with the bins here, the holding storages in the ground to keep them cool. This is where, if people don't know, this is where olive oil started. This is a museum that's in their factory. You can see, in fact, a pallet next, it's behind the wall is their plant. This is a pallet, I think, going to Asia. But right next to it is this beautiful museum that's also open to the public.
Yes, yes. The museum, the olive oil museum, was a project that my father, like, he wanted to do it. So now our headquarters are in Alcalá la Real, with the fortress of La Mota behind from the Arabic period.
So this is the plant when you come in. This is the state, the plants.
Yes, that is the state, which it has like more than 100 years. Well, that is some meat and potatoes, but
Yeah, those are our lunch, I think.
yes. So this place has an history in the olive oil sector of more than 100 years. And this was the original mill that we have to rehabilitate it because the conditions were really, really bad. And it was really hard because I don't know how 100 years ago people could do this without all the technology that we have nowadays, no?
Right.
And you don't know how heavy all that stuff can be.
Right.
We have this like it's very romantic. We want to transmit and to share the olive oil culture. We want to educate people coming to our plant about how to taste olive oil, the positive attributes. We like a lot to spread the olive oil culture. So it was like a mission. Okay, we sell the olive oil, we pack the olive oil, we export because our main markets are, for example, in Japan, in Asia. But we
Right.
want to do something that has to do more with the people that we
Yeah.
can teach and share our knowledge.
Right. And here you can see, in fact, they're packing a 100 count in a club pack, and you can see the Japanese language on the label, and these pallets are going to Japan. What I find so interesting for people that don't spend, there's a Japanese, and these pallets are going, look at the rack of pallets. I mean, so many pallets going, is that, this was the storage 100 years ago in these, clay vats. And then you have me here in your tank room, which are, I don't know what these are, maybe 50,000 liters or 100,000 liter tanks,
100,000
nitrogen.
kilos, yes.
And that you maintain it in temperature controlled, in the right way. And so you're blending and you're sharing kind of the knowledge of this is what, this is the land, this is the building, these are the trees. And then you walk in and these are the history of where oil started with the stone and the mats, and the rudimentary storage. In their day, it was advanced. To us, of course, it's rudimentary. And then it leads right into the technology of how you fill, how you package. You take the film and you have to make the olives, and then you have to fill them. All this starts as a film, and then they're packed by hand out of these huge tanks and packed for retail. And then all of a sudden, you have a modern, convenient product out of 100 years ago coming from a very rudimentary process.
Yeah.
It's really a testament to you and your father of what you have done. It really touched me. And I had already written about you in my book before I visited you, because I think I showed you my manuscript and I said, you and your dad are in my manuscript.
Yes, and I was like, really? And then you showed me when you were here.
Yeah. And what broke my heart is when I learned that you had tried to get in the US and it didn't really stick. And we don't have to talk about where, but it was at a national retailer, didn't stick. And I don't know if it was too soon, but with COVID and people really concerned about sharing stuff and using the same bottle, and all these bottles in restaurants that are open that I talk about in my book, the oil is always terrible. I believe with your family's commitment to quality, capability, you're a very modern thinker for a young entrepreneur. You are going to take America on by steam, and you are going to end up on websites, Amazon, key markets, food service, hospitality, mini Oliva, whether it's balsamic vinegar, which is also this bag of 12 will last you a while because you only need one at a time, versus a bottle that will sit in your pantry for years. You'll use this, which you're supposed to, and then get another one. Or the vinaigrettes, which is a balsamic and extra virgin, or the infused, which allow you, like with the lemon, to put it just over the fish. And again, once you open a bottle of extra virgin, I talked about this extensively, that bottle, the clock is ticking. 60 days, 90 days is over. Because once you open that bottle and air goes in, the degradation of the oil begins. These packets, until I tear it off, there's no air in here. So these packets will last at least to, if not beyond, the best before date. That's the difference, is only use as much oil as you need and not buying too big of a container. That's the number one problem in America, is people buy these big containers that have these impossible prices, and the oil is bad. If not from the beginning, it'll be bad in 90 days. Whereas these products, you use them. I mean, I don't think we answered the price, but I think these are less than $1.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I think it's less, when we looked at the math, it's less than $1. You can't get a Coca-Cola for $1. You can't get a Reese's cup for $1, but you can get beautiful single country monocultivar extra virgin olive oil in hermetically sealed packet, available at your local store or salad bar for $1. You are going to kill it in America. You're going to kill it. And I'm so glad I got to know you when.
We will talk in a few months. The US market is tough because many brands, the market is saturated. The consumer doesn't know what to choose. So, but we have clear our strategy is to try and enter the food service with hospital caterings, airline caterings, and cruise ship caterings. In fact, today we are attending a show in Malaga with a U.S. Delegation from cruise line, which are looking for a Spanish product. At the end of October, we will be attending in California, in Long Beach, another food show. The name is IFSA, the International Flight Service Association Airline Trade Show. Because we really think we are going to be more successful if we try to focus in the food service, where the product can naturally have more demand, and then course the retail, but with retail, how it works is
right. But
we will try.
The way, and I'm sure you know this, the way airlines and cruise ships and those kinds of things work is, you have to kind of sell to them at a very low price, because they usually include it in the price of the ticket with the buffet or whatever. If you're in a hospital, it comes as part of the stay. But what people do is they get a brand connection. It's got your website. They can find on your website where it's located. They could order online. And so this is really a marketing tool. When you sell it at food service, now people are like, I want this in my diet. I want this in my home. I want this in my work. So being in the airlines and the cruise ships are wonderful. I think they're necessary. But in the end of the day, people want these at home and at work. And so you've created that connection to them when they're sitting on an airplane or sitting on a cruise ship. And now they know, oh, I got to find these mini Olivas. They empty it. They take the empty package, and they can then remember your website and find you, and then incorporate it into their diet. I mean, you've been generous to me. I have a number of these bags. I give them to my friends. I use them when I travel, because I don't have any of my own olive oil that's that size. I'm going to Toronto tomorrow to a trade show. I'm going to throw them in my bag. And when we go out to dinner, I'm going to have, mini Oliva with me, so I don't have to rely. I know we're going to an Italian dinner on Saturday in Toronto, and I'm not going to use the olive oil where I'm going. I'm going to bring my mini Olivas, because I trust them. So Japan, we touch on it, but Japan is probably one of your bigger markets now, right?
Yes, Japan is our main market. Asia in general, South Korea, Thailand, Taiwan, but mainly Japan.
Yeah.
Because I think the Japanese consumer is much more worried about health issues. So they find the product with convenience in the size, because what you have explained, you can use just the quantity you need for the suggested requirement. You keep the product fresh until the moment that you are eating. So Japanese consumer maybe worry a little more about health issues, so they are like more receptive for new proposal in the market, like mini Oliva. I think that is one of the main points to be successful in the market. They like also little thing, design, uniqueness,
Right.
but they are also more receptive to
Yeah.
like different things, or olive oil in a packaging different of a bottle, because
Right.
normally the consumer says what it is a sample, is a perfume.
Mhm.
They are very receptive to these
Right.
different
Well, you
things.
think about, I mean, you have little kids, the little juice boxes,
Yeah.
what would your life be if you didn't have juice boxes to give to your children in the car when they're screaming, giving them a glass bottle where they open the top and it spills everywhere, Tetra Pak where they pack tomatoes and not in glass, but in changing and packaging formats is going to be the key to your success, but it's the key to our survival. We have to change the way we think about delivering products to people. Glass bottles for olive oil are not going to be around for long. They're expensive to make. They're heavy. They're wasteful as far as recycling. It's very expensive to recycle glass. Are they a great format for olive oil? Yes, but we cannot rely on what we have been doing for 50 years to go forward. We have got to change some things. And your father was absolutely a visionary. You're a visionary to take on his project because you're busy and you've got a family. But I encourage people to find a mini Oliva. I don't know if it's available domestically, if you're available here online or not, but they can always email me, david@evoguy.com, and I will either help you find it, I will bring it in and sell it on my website to you if I need to, or I'll connect you to Angela or her team directly so you can find it for you, for your business. You may want these, like the 50 count, you may want that in your office for your staff for their lunch breaks. We will help you in a very granular way until she is a national brand and she's too busy to talk to you, which is going to happen. And I want to say I knew her when she was struggling to get in the States. She's going to be a very big, very successful business in America. And I'm very proud to work with you. Anything big or new for 2023 that you want to tease about? I know the harvest is coming. We talked quickly before we started here that it's a tough year in Spain. If you've been reading the news here in the States, it's hot, it's drought. But as we said, agricultural products, it's what nature gives us. We have to deal with it. It's never going to be easy. There's the fly in Italy. There's fires in California with the olives. So we know the environment and the weather is a problem. But for mini Oliva, what do you think is going to be kind of without telling trade secrets, what do you think is going to be an interesting 2023 for you?
Well, for our company, it's true all what you are telling about olive oil problems this year, but well, that is not a reason to reduce quality or reduce. We will maintain quality. We will improve quality, not maintain. We will improve quality because we are always caring about offering the best quality possible. So we will be improving that. And in our plan, we are incorporating a new production line from December, January 2023. So we will be able to double our production capacity. This new line will be able to include nitrogen in the single serves. So, I mean, our goal is improving. We have a good product, but we want a better one.
Yeah.
And we will be using plastic, which is more easily recyclable.
Right.
So, I mean, these are two important keys: the quality of the oil,
right.
Keep improving, the quality of the packaging, and all
yeah.
the issues regarding the recyclability and all the things. So that's our main goals.
And when I was there, you had talked about maybe having some kind of either a wedding venue or agritourism or something. Is that something still, because you have so much land?
No. That's sorry. That is like something like not related to the olive, but yes, we have that the beautiful place that you show in the pictures. So yes, we are going directly with this project. It's a very local project, but we want to build like a place for making events. How do you say when you
get married, marriages, caterings.
Marriage, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is probably in the second semester of
Mhm.
2023. And we are also building a new warehouse because we need more space.
Yeah.
That is, we are currently doing. So
That was on the backside, right?
on
You
the
showed me on the
backside,
backside.
yes.
Yeah.
We are building a warehouse like bigger than the one that we currently have.
Yeah.
So yes, we have some nice projects
Yeah.
for the next
And,
year.
you know, now that COVID is hopefully behind us, people are traveling again. I know a lot of people have been to Spain. I'm going to be there in November for Harvest. People can come by because you have the museum. They maybe can't go into the plant because it's sterile, but they can go into the museum. They can visit the, you know, you sell some stuff, I think, in the showroom. If people are in high-end Spain, which is, again, the breadbasket of olive oil in Spain. One of our other champions, Castillo de Canena, is also in high end. It's a drive. I drove I drove from one to the other,
Wow.
1 hour, yeah. But their estate, the view, the area is so authentic and so beautiful. If you're in southern Spain, please look up Alca Oliva. If you need their address, you can't find it, you can always write me again. I'll connect you, but definitely it's worth a visit because you're going to see the authenticity of the source where the oil comes from, the heritage of her family creating a very unique product in an amazing setting at the epicenter of where olive oil, basically the bulk of the olive oil in the world comes from Spain. 1.3 million tons is from Spain of 3 million total production. And of that 1.3 million, majority of it is in southern Spain. I mean, all you do see 50 miles of beautiful olive trees. So they should visit you. I can't wait to come back. You are by far one of my most favorite people in the olive oil industry. And you are still considered to be an unknown. And I love that because when you're famous, I'm going to say I knew Angela when she was, you know, taking over her father's business and building this into a you know, generational business for her children. I really encourage people that follow me, that follow MDR, that are interested in extra virgin olive oil and supportive of our library project. This is by far one of the most interesting projects we have ever been part of, not just because it's quality extra virgin olive oil, which goes without saying, but it's unique packaging at a reasonable price and it's accessible. It's easy to use. And that is one thing that extra virgin olive oil is not known for, is being easy to use. So I thank you, Angela, for being here, giving me an hour of your time. You're busy, you're over in Spain, so it's afternoon, but you haven't seen the last of Angela or her family or her product. And I thank you again for supporting the MDR. And we're so happy to have you as part of our group this year.
Thanks to you, David. Thank you for supporting us and thank you for encouraging me particularly.
Well, it's a pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon and we'll see you at Yale. They'll be exhibiting with us at our Yale event in October. And then there'll be more to come with them on videos later in the year. Probably after harvest, we'll talk about how their harvest roundup went. But thank you again for being with us, Angela. And please do not forget to go out and find this somewhere. If you're in Spain, it's a lot easier to find because I've seen it in restaurants and shops in Spain. But if you're in the US, it's available. It's just not easy yet, but I can help you find it, or Angela will help you find it. Mini Oliva in a number of formats, in different products, oils, vinegars, and infused oils, and the single serves. It's the way to go. Thank you again, Angela, and we will talk to you soon. Pleasure. Ciao, ciao.